Hello, in this video, let's do some practice with consumer and producer surplus with linear demand and supply curves. So I've got a market right here for some product. And thing to remember is, what is the consumer surplus? Well, consumer surplus is the area under demand curve, but above the price. Okay, so really, it's the difference between what consumers are willing to pay, which is their spot on the demand curve, and what they would actually pay. And then the producer surplus is going to be the area above supply curve, but below the price. And this can be thought of as like the combined profit of all the producers in this particular market. So there you go. And so to calculate, we can actually label these things. So right here, it's this right here is the consumer surplus, and then this right here is the producer surplus. To calculate this, consumer surplus formula is 1/2, you can write it like that, times the base of the triangle, that's multiply times height. Okay. And then producer surplus is the same thing. I'm going to write it in a different way. I'm going to say 0.5 base times height. Okay. And so I'm going to suggest, if you want better practice, you pause the video right now, try to calculate it before I do the example. So pause the video, give it a shot. Okay, hopefully you pause the video. Okay, so the consumer surplus is right here. So write that out here. Consumer surplus is 1/2, and then the height of the triangle is 5. You can well, I guess the base of the triangle is 3. So to do it consistently, 3 times 5, which is 15, and then half of 15 is 7.5. Since these are in dollars, consumer surplus is always in dollars. Okay, and then producer surplus is 1/2. Now this one's a little tricky because it doesn't start out at 0, so you're going to go from 5 up to 20. Okay, so that's a difference of 15, and then this part of the triangle is also 3. Okay, so that's 45, and then half of 45 is 22.5. So those are your consumer and producer surplus on the first one. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, try to pause the video, try to calculate it yourself. Okay, hopefully you pause the video. So I guess I'll label it here just to be consistent. This is the consumer surplus. This is the producer surplus. Already I can see that the consumer surplus is bigger than the producer surplus. Back here, the producer surplus was bigger than the consumer surplus. Okay. Does matter in the sense that I'm just looking at which side of the market's better. So consumer surplus is going to be 0.5. Okay, so the base of the triangle is now 4. Okay, that's the quantity, and then the difference up here is 15. So 4 times 15 is 60, and then half of 60 is 30. And then producer surplus is, again, we're going to have a quantity of 40, and then we're going from 10 to 20. 10 to 20 is, so it's 40, and then half 40 is 20. Okay. We'll make this a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. There's that one. And then finally this last one. If you want to pause the video, give it a shot. Okay. Here is consumer surplus. Here is producer surplus. Already I can see that the producer surplus is going to be bigger. And consumer surplus is 0.5. So it's a difference of 7 times 10, which is 70, and then half of 70 is 35. The producer surplus is, again, a difference. Oops, 7, and then up to 15 here. Okay. I think I did that wrong. So 7 times 15, I don't know that one off the top of my head, so 7 times 15 is 105, and then times 1/2 is 52.5. 52.5. Okay, and those are some examples on how to calculate producer and consumer surplus using linear demand curves.